Hey guys, how's it going? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, and today we're taking a look at the latest CT Toys knockoff action figure with their bootleg symbiote Mafex Spider-Man. Previously on the channel we have taken a look at a lot of these CT Toys knockoff figures and they have all been surprisingly good quality for that £20 AliExpress price point. I asked you guys what you wanted to see upcoming from CT Toys, and with the possibilities being endless, I still didn't see this Mafex symbiote Spidey coming, because all of the bootlegs up until now have been SH Figuarts, I think, so it is going to be interesting to see how well they rip off Mafex here. But for me, this couldn't have been a better knockoff from CT Toys. I have been wanting to get the symbiote Mafex Spider-Man figure ever since it first came out, but for £120 retail, I have been pretty hesitant. I think that is probably one of the most expensive Mafex figures. The original Mafex Spider-Man figure on the right here, this is the re-release of the number 75. I believe that retailed for around £105, and then the repaint with the less interchangeable parts went for around £80 if I'm not mistaken. And so £120 is a massive price hike, especially when I am quite a big fan of both of these Marvel Legends releases here. On the left we've got the original with the McFarlane-esque head sculpt. It does have the Pizza Spidey mold, which at this point is really outdated, but I have to say I still really like how it looks for our black suited Spider-Man figure. I still enjoy picking this one up to pose around, and if you are wanting some better range of movement, better articulation, then you do have the retro card release as well here on the right. It's a great symbiote Spidey in its own right, but I will say the head swaps between these two work really well, and it gives us options for our Marvel Legends black suited Spidey, and I can show that off later in this video. So £120 is a lot of money, especially when I feel like I do have sufficient black suited Spideys already. However, it is a figure I do definitely want to pick up in the future. Hopefully I can get it for a good deal on eBay at some point, or ideally they do what they've done before and give us a sort of re-release with a repaint. It would be awesome to see this Mafex Spidey with a dark shiny purple repaint, and hopefully they could give us that for a cheaper price point, because again £120 is a lot. And so again, CT Toys giving us this £20 bootleg of the Mafex symbiote Spidey could not have been a better option for myself. But the question is, how good is it? So let's not wait any longer, let's jump right into the video. So to start off with the packaging, this has actually arrived in pretty good condition. At this point when I'm ordering from AliExpress, I pretty much have to accept that the box is going to be all dinged up and bashed, and although it isn't perfect, we can see, you know, it's slightly creased and bent in areas, it has arrived in probably the best condition I've ever gotten from AliExpress, so that is a bonus. The box does definitely reminisce the official Mafex figure. I don't have the original to compare, but bringing in our number 75 Mafex, we can see it is the same style of packaging, but the CT Toys box here is a lot smaller, it's a lot slimmer. We can see the width of it is definitely shorter, and so yeah, reminiscent of the original, but I think overall here the packaging is really nice. We've got the Amazing Spider-Man logo, picture of the figure, the background of it has this white dotted pattern, CT Toys logo, Spider-Man black costume, and it just says action figure. We get the display here, cool comic image in the top left, and we get these logos up at the top, side of the packaging here, other side, and yeah, here's the back of the box. It shows us everything we're going to get with our figure and all the accessories there at the bottom. So let's crack it open and see what this thing's up to. We get the interchangeable feet with the magnets on the bottom, and these are really nice looking. The magnets aren't sticking out or anything. The paint on there is looking pretty nice, and I don't have anything to show off on camera, but the magnets do work well. I do get this sticking to other metals, so yeah, definitely a great touch from CT Toys here. We get the web flipping hands, sprawled open wall crawling hands, the sprawled open wall crawling hands with the magnets, and again these are working no problem. We've got the clobbering time hands, and we've got the web line holding hands, and all of these interchangeable hands look great, no issues with them at all. The paint on there look spot on, no complaints from me. Talking about web line holding hands, let's get to the other accessories. We get the two longer web lines, and overall these are totally fine. Nice consistency to them, they're not too flexible, they're not gummy, anything like that. I will say sculpting wise, it does look like it's got a good sculpt to it, but you can sort of see this area here, there's some excess plastic, and so they're not perfect, but they'll definitely do the trick. We've got the two medium web whip accessories, and these ones port around the wrists. And then we've got the two shorter web whip accessories, and yeah, all of these pretty good quality. Again, wee bits of excess plastic on the longer web whipping lines, but I don't see any problem with these at all. And then we've got the web backpack, and again, something that's good about picking up these cheaper knockoffs. For £20 you get all the import figure accessories. This is something we've not seen from other figure companies like Marvel Legends and whatnot, but you could use these with a lot of other figures, and it is done to a good quality here. I mean, the web pattern on the back looks really sleek. You've got the web lines for the straps, and yeah, for a knockoff, this looks pretty great. I'm happy with this, and I think it's a really cool accessory to get. And then we've got one of the three interchangeable head sculpts, including the one that's on the figure. I will say this is probably my least favourite of the three. It is still a great head sculpt, but I think the other two just look amazing, so we'll get to them. This one looks very McFarlane-esque. I think it looks awesome how you've got the frown in the middle. He's looking pretty aggressive here. They've done great replicating the original Mafex sculpt here, no issues at all. I mean, with the Amazing Spider-Man knockoff that we looked at, the lenses, the paint on them were pretty bad, but this looks 10 out of 10. You can even see the slight blue paint mixed in with the black at the top of the head here, and that's something we see all over the figure. So yeah, great head sculpt, but probably just out of preference my least favourite. I do quickly just want to bring in the original Marvel Legends at this point, because it goes to show the McFarlane style of the original Marvel Legends release, and that was another reason I was just happy to hold off on the official Mafex, hold off from splashing that £120, because I do think the likeness of the Marvel Legends here is quite similar to that Mafex head sculpt. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Overall, I think the Mafex is better, but it's not far off here. And then definitely my favourite head sculpt on the original Mafex and with the CT Toys bootleg is this Peter Parker head sculpt. Let's go back a few years to maybe one of the most widespread bootlegs about, the original Mafex. What number was it? 75. It was the 75 Mafex bootleg, and they gave us this Peter Parker head sculpt. This was always the telltale sign that you had a knockoff or a bootleg, because there was no hiding this. It is pure nightmare fuel, and it is just horrific. I've never seen anyone use this on their figures, but yeah, this was kind of the normal with bootlegs, and now CT Toys, man, are changing the game. Look how incredible that is for a knockoff. My only complaint would be the hair is probably just a bit too thick with that darker paint running through it. But I mean, who cares when the rest of it looks so amazing? It is just not an issue at all. The eyes are great, the eyebrows are spot on, the 5 o'clock shadow is perfect. Then you've got the symbiote paint running up through the neck. I've seen a few people at this point on TikTok and Instagram comparing this CT Toys to their original symbiote Mafex, and honestly I think this head sculpt looks just as good as the original. They have absolutely perfected this knockoff here. And then we have the figure itself, and the head sculpt that's on the figure at the moment is my favourite masked head sculpt. I think it just looks awesome with the huge alien-like lenses that are meeting in the middle. It's still got that angry frown to it. Yeah, I think this is such a cool head sculpt for Spidey here, and CT Toys have done a great job replicating it again. We can see that blue hitting the light running throughout the paint here all over the costume. I mean, this again is, I think, maybe the best bootleg of all time. On the back, the blue is a lot more prominent, but I do like the way it just shows up when the light hits it. It's not something that you instantly see. It's as it hits the light, it just pokes out and it looks terrific. The back logo looks pretty spot on to me. Something I noticed on the front is there is like a slight paint blotch. Let me turn the brightness down a wee bit and hopefully we can see that a bit better. I don't know, can you see it? There's a slight white dot. You can see it where my thumb is on the middle of the ab area, but that is it. I'm pretty much showing off nothing there because it is hard to see, but it's there, just a slight paint blotch in that middle logo, but the rest is perfection and it all moves really smoothly. I've posed this round a wee bit and it's tight, you know. I've not got any loose joints in this thing. It's posable. All the articulation here is working. Again, with the original Mafex bootlegs, the thing fell apart in a matter of minutes. You would have butterfly joints coming off, necks coming off, the figure breaking. Touch wood, I've not got many problems with this thing at the moment, and I do feel pretty happy to keep posing it around. I don't know how well the paint will hold up and whatnot, time will tell, but yeah, I think this is great at the moment. The quality in plastic as well, I'm not going to say it feels as good as a Mafex, but is certainly not far off. I've brought it up a few times in these CT Toys videos talking about the SH Figuarts Spider-Man 2099 bootleg that they did. That thing felt cheap and nasty. It felt like a Burger King toy. This feels like a premium action figure. Again, it doesn't feel quite as good as a Mafex, but it does not feel far off it at all, and it looks great. Again, bottom of the feet got that blue paint and it's all pretty well applicated, no paint spillage or anything. You can see it sort of peeking out at the bottom there, but it stands, it poses, it looks amazing. Let's compare them to some other figures. And here is our CT Toys Mafex bootleg Symbiote Spidey in the middle, next to the 185 and the 75 legitimate Mafex action figures. Comparing this guy to the originals, I think the biggest difference is the scale. Similar to the Figuarts bootlegs, the CT Toys replicas have been scaled down ever so slightly. We can see standing shorter than both of these ones. Proportions all match the figure, but they are smaller than the legitimate versions, and so I think that really is the biggest difference at this point. The quality is really good, but the scale seems to be the biggest difference between them. And then here we have our CT Toys next to the two main Marvel Legends Symbiote Spidey figures. Again, the one on the left is the much older figure, and then the one on the right is the most recent retro carded Spidey release. And as much as I do really like both of these Marvel Legends figures, I do feel like this CT Toys is worthwhile picking up for that £20 price point. They have done a great job at replicating the Mafex, and I feel like it is a bit of a mixed match of both of these Marvel Legends. I love the head sculpt on this one, I like the range of movement on this one. And the Mafex kind of combine that. It gives us our more McFarlane style head sculpts with a lot more range of movement. Of course, if you want to spend that £120 price point and get the original Mafex, then go ahead, you know, it's going to be a great figure. I do think that figure is worth the price point. I just acknowledge that it is a very high price point. So for me to get the CT Toys for £20, I can still appreciate my Marvel Legends and appreciate that this is a knockoff, but get a good mix of everything going on here. As I mentioned earlier on, with the Marvel Legends, we do have some options here because we can swap the head sculpts over from the original to a retro carded figure, and to show off what that looks like here, I think it works really well. You can get that McFarlane likeness, and then you get the pure posability of the retro carded option here. So yeah, if you want a legitimate figure, then you can get the Marvel Legends for £20 to £40 in the aftermarket, I would say, especially with the re-releases of the Mafex and the VHS Marvel Legends and such. They do vary on prices, but if you're against knockoffs, you don't want a fake in the collection, then the Marvel Legends can serve you very well. I mean, as I said, these are really good black suited Spidey figures that have allowed me to kind of hold off from splashing on the import prices. But similarly, if you don't want to break the bank and you do want a really good black suited Spidey figure, then this CT Toys bootleg is really impressing me. And then here is our CT Toys Spidey next to a couple of Marvel Legends Spider-Man villains. We've got this Marvel Legends Venom on the left and the retro carded Sandman on the right. I really do like this Marvel Legends Venom still to this day, but it is starting to show its age, and I cannot wait for that upcoming retro carded release because it looks like the perfect upgrade for this Venom right here. I do think he scales fairly well with the CT toys here. I think the height difference with Venom can be accepted. Venom can be a much bigger, bulkier character than Spider-Man, but bringing in Sandman, who is a much more kind of average size villain, I would guess, especially the look that the retro carded's going for, he is looking much taller than our Mafex bootleg here. So I guess that is something that the legitimate Mafex has going for it. I think it would scale slightly better with Marvel Legends. I think that's further backed up when we can see that our CT Toys Spider-Man is even smaller than our smaller Marvel Legends AF-15 Spidey, and then we've also got a retro carded Spider-Man here on the right, again much taller than CT Toys. But for a bootleg, CT Toys are absolutely killing it. Here is our original Mafex bootleg Spidey figure, and again at the time I probably would have said that this was a decent knockoff figure. I mean, you can get them cheap as chips on AliExpress. I'm talking like less than £10 at this point. And yeah, I mean, posing this thing around, you can get away with it, but just look at how much more sleek and improved our CT Toys knockoff looks here on the right. I do really hope CT Toys give us an original Spidey to go with our bootleg here, because yeah, this thing's due the bin at this point. And so there are my thoughts on the latest CT Toys knockoff action figure. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments section below, and again, let me know what you want to see up next from CT Toys. I have seen some crazy rumours. I do not know how legit the rumours are. If you have any more info, please let me know, but I have seen rumours of the Amazing Spider-Man original Mafex action figure, the Superman Hush figure, Batman Hush, Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was a couple of others, but I am certainly holding out for an Amazing Spider-Man CT Toys bootleg, because that original Mafex figure, if you're lucky to even come across one, sells for well over like 250 quid, and I doubt Mafex will be re-releasing that figure anytime soon, so if CT Toys was to rip that off, count me in. I mean, count me in on the lot. I've got the original Batman Mafex Hush figure, and it is certainly my favourite Batman figure of all time, so I'd love to see a CT Toys version of that. The Superman looks amazing. Again, I hope to pick the Superman Mafex figure up in the future. It's something I've had my eye on for quite some time, so again, if CT Toys was to make that, I'd of course have to pick it up. I'm all in on CT Toys. As I mentioned in a previous video, I think bootlegs are a bit iffy. I totally acknowledge they are ripping off hard work from original creators, they're ripping off artwork, but again, the way I see it, if the original artwork is sold out, that company have made their bag, they have made their money on their product. If they're not re-releasing it, then that's their problem. Of course, I would pick up a re-release, I would pick up, okay, maybe I'm being hypocritical, because I could pick up the original £120 Mafex figure here, and I've went for the £20 option, so maybe I am needing to reassess what I'm saying, but I think, you know, owning Mafex figures, having original Mafex figures, again, the original products are selling out, they're making their money. If CT Toys comes along and makes some profits off a really good quality bootleg, then I don't care. The game's the game. This is what's happening. CT Toys have been destroying it recently, and again, I'm all in. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. While you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, and I'll definitely be posting a lot of pictures of this Mafex bootleg up over there, and it'd mean a lot if you could check that out. It means a lot that you've checked this video out right here, guys, so as always, thank you so much, and I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.